I know many of you have asked about my solo horn. I've been reluctant to discuss the matter because equipment is such a personal thing, you see. The last time we spoke, I had my orchestral triple horn in my lap. That's the horn I love to play in orchestras, but for playing solos, and especially at my age, I have to have something considerably lighter, which is what I'm using here. This is an F, D, alto combination. That's the trigger gives us the D horn. So it's not hard to get, if I leave the trigger up, you see what I mean? There are advantages to it, but it's a work in progress, just as we as players, works in progress. So I'm not recommending this per se. The idea came to me in 1968. I was in Prague, and I flew afterwards back to London with Jimmy Galway. Jimmy had won second prize, and Maurice Borg, an oboist, had won first place, the division, and Jimmy won second, and I picked up a third prize, and I flew back to London with Jimmy and stayed with him for a while, and at that time he was playing principal flutist with Kempion, the Royal Philharmonic. So I went to some of those concerts, and I heard a trumpet player play magnificently, beautifully, and with a huge sound, playing a little trumpet, which completely bewildered me, because at that time I was playing my 8D and my C1, and in tradition. But when I got back to New York and later joined the New York Philharmonic, in the Philharmonic, the first trumpet player then was Bill Vacchiano. And Vacchiano backstage was the first one to tell me the old saying, little horn, big mouthpiece, big horn, little mouthpiece. It sounds, these kind of sayings they're a little old-fashioned, but they do touch on something that is not without merit. So when you're playing in an orchestra, which most people want to do and are doing, if you're on the high horn chair, you're going to want to play. I like playing a triple. A lot of people still play doubles. Great, okay. I like playing a triple and with a pretty big mouthpiece, but not gigantic. At least not for the second portion of my career. But the point is, as a soloist, I play this, and I play it because it's so lightweight. It's easy to travel with. It's easy to play. I can play, well, just about anything at my age, and the reason I'm reluctant to talk to you about this instrument so deeply is because the truth of the matter is what each of us seeks about playing, and what embouchure, what mouthpiece you use, what horn, what lead pipe, what bell becomes a very personal matter, and it's been a pursuit for me for a long time. I have bells, I have lots of bells, lots of mouthpieces. This horn I have lots of lead pipes and all kinds of things, and it's an ongoing activity in search of being able to play it in a special way. It's about the music. Now, I don't know if I can tell you what Mr. Farkas told me once after a lesson. He said, John, you know, you can make your living playing this instrument. He said, I did, so can you. And he was right. My whole life I made a living playing the French horn. And as a soloist, I've had some really stunning successes. And I know Freudis will be overjoyed to see me playing this light instrument. We used to argue about it, but it doesn't matter. The search is for truth, and truth has a way of being quite certain. You can stumble over many, many, many half-truths strewn in your pathway. I chose to work at a very small part of life. I became a horn player, which is a wonderful thing to do and to be, but I did not try to play some other instrument, violin or piano. I love them even more maybe, or be a conductor or something. I did not try to do something larger. I took a small piece and polished it all these years. And my advice to you is not so much what horn or mouthpiece to play, is that you try to find a good teacher that remembers what really beautiful playing is. It is about making beautiful phrases. It's not just about getting the notes exactly in time. Yes, you have to play auditions that way. You almost have to smuggle through your musical self, hidden away. In an audition, you have to play everything precisely in time and in tune, and they're judging you like, I don't know what, more like a car mechanic looking at your tires, kicking the tires and stuff. But none of that matters. I came up in a different time when conductors chose musicians based on their musicianship. And I loved Dennis Brain, as I hope most of you do. And it wasn't because he got the notes. It was because he was so musical. Every phrase he played had something in it that was gorgeous. So I've tried to do that my whole life as well. And music is an interesting language. It's a shortcut to glory. And glory takes you to the more critical understandings of life and choosing what is best. And I neglected to say in the previous video that in my bookcase of the great works of mankind, I also had every book of psychology you can imagine. I had everything Freud wrote. I had his inner circle, books of Otto Rank, Carl Jung, Adler, all of them. They were among the other books that didn't quite give me what I needed. And I also had the existentialists, all of the best of them. I read Camus, pushed the rock up, rolled back down. But I'm trying to say that all of these wise men had a bit of this and a bit of that truth, and were trying to pull it together just like I was. And you can't throw on a white coat and put a stethoscope around your neck and say that you found the secret of mankind in a scientific venture, a psychological or psychiatric method. That's not the way. I think everybody, by the time they're my age, has begun to understand that it's a more humbling experience to find out what is true. I said in my last video to you out there who are my friends and students that you should open a Bible. And for me, it was looking at the book of Romans, Italian, you know. But I also looked for my namesake in there, John. And that was great. And all tied together in a way that you cannot believe. So you know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm trying to tell you what not to fail to do, what you shouldn't fail to check out along the way. This is a horn player. I've been around now, I'm pushing 70 and I'm still playing. My wife will tell you that I play outrageous things. I play the coda of the Strauss verse way too fast, and faster than my metronome can take it. And I mean, I do a lot of things that I hope encourage older players to realize that you can still play this instrument. But I'm a sucker for the beautiful melodies and the I don't know, the somber melodic things that make a horn special. I like to dazzle people with super speed and so forth, but at the same time I found more and more that instead of it being some kind of brilliancy, that you can warm them with a glow, the glow of a hearth fire, instead of, I don't know, a flaming extravaganza of fast notes. And I've also found out many a time in concerts, after I'd walk out of a concert, I walked out of a Heldenleben, I played in Aspen, and I was very unhappy. I'd biffed a couple and came out into the parking lot, and there were a bunch of students and faculty in tears at the concert. And the way I had played it, I was upset with myself, and they were deeply moved. So our job is to search for the truth of the matter, to move people deeply, to show them what is so in the music. And to do that requires enormous experience, courage, willpower, and a lot of practice. If my family could sit here and tell you, I play this thing all day long, and I drive everybody crazy. But that's really all I wanted to tell you. And I had forgotten to mention the horn, and that I've read all the psychology and science, and especially the existentialists, and they all fall short, in my opinion. And maybe I'm not the best source, but you're my friends. So good luck again to you all, and farewell.